Our team arrives at Weistark Fortress, which now has a bizarrely sci-fi twist thanks to mysterious Kunari technology. The fortress is surrounded by energy shields, blinking panels, and what appears to be an advanced cappuccino machine emitting strange hums. Okay. Now we all know AI is taking over the world, but can it really do the jobs that us humans can? Well, I figured what better way to stress test this theory than to see if AI can write the story of Dragon Age The Veilguard and have it be some form of coherent game. So as you can see here, I have asked AI to find all possible information about the Veilguard, and it gave me Wikipedia. So, using Dragon Age Wiki, find information you can. Here it goes on to list that it's restricted. So I asked it to find the plot points and the character details, so we're off to a solid start. And here we go. Dragon Age Veilguard, playing Rook, that's all correct. Combat the rise of ancient elven gods, including Solus, the Dread Wolf, perfect. Talked about the companions, so Neve, Lucanus, Balara, Emmerich. Doesn't mention Davrin. Kind of a shame, but that's okay. And then I asked it to point out the plot of the game involving Solus and the released elven gods. Starts mentioning all of that. We moved on to find out Varric's involvement, because I want to make sure it mentions Varric. So, successfully does that. Same with Morrigan. And I asked it to tell me the start of the game, to make sure it got that right, because we know how the game starts. We're not going to rewrite the start with AI, we're going to continue the journey. So it talks about how we meet Varric, Neve, Gallus, and Harden early in the game. I then asked it what happened with Solus and his ritual, and it talks about how Rook attempts to disrupt Solus' ritual, destroying the veil. The encounter is scales, all sorts. Even gets it in Arlathan Forest. So from there, help me write a story of Dragon Age Veilguard using information collected. We'll break the game down into 12 chapters like a book. The 12 chapters, we're going to have the 7 companions, how we meet them. Meeting the Inquisitor, meeting Morrigan, stopping each of the elven gods, and then what happens to Solus in the end of the game. I'm not going to ask it to break it down into 3 acts like the game has, because I think we'll probably break the internet. But that is the plan. So, okay, and here is its Chapter 1. Chapter 1, The Gathering of Shadows. Rook, weary from the recent battles and grappling with the growing blight, treks through a misty, desolate part of Thedas with Neve, Harding, and a wounded Varric in tow. Neve, the ever-witty, sharp detective, leads him towards an ancient... Is that meant to say elven? Okay. Ruined rheumatide, a veil jumper who might know about Solus's plans. They stumble upon Balara Lute, I have no idea if that's how you say her name, within the crumbling temple, her fingers sparking with electricity as she manipulates the Fade, carving magical symbols into the stone. Caught between curiosity and caution, Balara scrutinizes the group, but eventually joins, lured by the promise of ancient secrets and revenge. Team's camaraderie forms quickly, bound by a mix of suspicion, shared purpose, and a hint of mystical. Well, okay. So I'm going to ask AI to make images of it every so often. So I put it on the side. I'm not going to do that. I'll keep cutting and whatnot. Okay, I asked it to write Chapter 2, and absolutely let's crank up the strangeness, okay? Here's the concept of Chapter 2, Echoes of the Fade. With Balara now part of the team, things get bizarre. Rook's amulet, an heirloom from a questionable uncle, starts humming whenever they approach elven artifacts. Balara insists it's because of an echo from the Fade, while Neve suspects it's Rook's lunch rations attracting mystical rats. Okay. The group stumbles upon an underground waterfall, but the water flows upwards, vanishing into the ceiling. Varric's map suggests they're moving west, yet the moon rises directly ahead. Balara starts hearing voices, maybe from the gods of the leftover echoes of ancient feasts long abandoned, and as the voice chants, strange glyphs illuminate the path forward. A series of misty visions interrupt their journey, revealing ghostly shadows of Thedas' greatest battles with Rook, strangely cast in 2 shadows, one his own, and the other seemingly to stare back. Harding trips over a spectral elk that appears only in her peripheral vision. Despite all, Varric grits his teeth and cracks one-liners, determined to keep the group grounded. Okay. Okay, we have another chapter. Let's dial up the absurdity, says AI. Fantastic. Concept, a potion, mishap, and bewildering banter. But attempting to heal Varric, Neve accidentally uses a potion labelled Potion of Caffeine Ferocity. Varric begins speaking 5 times faster, sharing every single tale he's heard for his hours straight, pausing only to gasp for air, at which point Rook wonders aloud if they can bottle his words and sell them in Orlais. Balara, frustrated, weaves an accidental spell that causes Rook's boots to sing harmoniously with his every step, and Hardin has to wrestle her hat back from a mischievous squirrel that just won't let go. Chapter closes with the group bewildered by a small stone that demands a toll in riddles before allowing them to pass. The stone's riddles, however, make no sense whatsoever, and soon they're all trapped in a loop, debating the meaning of why did the fade chicken cross the road. Okay then. Rook, Balara, Nev, Harding, and the rapidly recovering Varric trek through the blight-tainted forests. So we're in forest now, where eerie howls echo through the mist. Suddenly a piercing screech cuts through the air and a massive shadow sweeps overhead. A griffin named Asan. His rider Davrin, a stoic grey warrior, cloaked in dark armour, dismounts with practiced ease. As they exchange weary greetings, Rook's singing boots emit a particularly discordant note, causing Asan to squawk in alarm. Davrin raises an eyebrow, clearly questioning their competence, while Varric, still babbling thanks to the potion of caffeinated ferocity, tries to impress him with a very abridged, sped-up version of his own life story. Davrin, unmoved, dismisses their antics and insists they get serious if they want to survive. Asan takes an instant liking to Rook, nudging him with the beak the size of a shield and insisting showing off his tricks. As the group exchange stories, Davrin reveals Solus's ritual might have awakened more than just Everenrus. The blight itself stirs. Only a Grey Warden's griffin can navigate these tainted skies. The unlikely bond between the team and Davrin is sealed as Asan, grinning in his feathery way, playfully drags Varric around, now practicing his personal... Okay. Together they've readied themselves to fly towards a Weissap fortress on a mission to warn the other Wardens. Awesome. So we now have singing boots and a caffeinated Varric. Okay, I asked it to write the next chapter about how how the team go to Weissap Fortress to warn the Wardens, and how they would meet Tash to that. Quantum Quirk at Weissap. This is off to a great start. Our team arrives at Weissap Fortress, which now has a bizarrely sci-fi twist thanks to mysterious Qunari technology. The fortress is surrounded by energy shields, blinking panels, and what appears to be an advanced cappuccino machine emitting strange hums. Okay, cool. They are greeted by Tash, a Qunari dragon hunter who, to everyone's surprise, wields a plasma spear and claims her new tech is state-of-the-art by Qunari standards, imported from beyond the Fade. As Rook stares in awe at a floating hologram of a griffin, Asan's digital twin, Tash explains that Weissap has become a cross-dimensional beacon, attracting odd artifacts, including a galactic espresso maker that Harding immediately tries to use. Tash's weapon tech lets her tear portals to pocket dimensions, which she invites the team to explore. Varric suggests these be called holiday zones, but Balara points out the improbability of vacationing in a realm of floating magma and carnivorous vines. I thought it said coronavirus vines. I was like, what? With Tash leading, they venture into the sci-fi labyrinth halls of Weissap, fending off blight bots, infected robots that spout nonsensical prophecies as they attack. Nev, trying to hack one, accidentally activates its dance mode, and as soon as the group is avoiding a legion of twirling blight bots to the tune of Qunari Techno March, they press onward, eyes set on stopping Solus, all while adjusting to the quantum anomalies and naturally grabbing a Qunari espresso for the journey ahead. Oh boy. Yeah, the image for this is crazy. Do you think they just Googled, or like AI just took like, what's popular? Sabrina Carpenter, and put an espresso machine in? Okay, we asked it to continue the story of how they would meet Emmerich, the Necromancer's Grotto. After a day of dodging dancing blightbots and savouring Qunari espresso, the team stumbles upon an ancient Naran grotto said to house Keeper of Lost Souls. Then they encounter Emmerich Volcarin, a necromancer of the Mornwatch, accompanied by his skeletal assistant Manfred. Ah, so AI knows about Manfred, okay. Who appears to be on a break sipping from a tiny teacup. Emmerich is knee-deep in an elaborate ritual involving ghostly spirits and an ancient home, but things go awry when Manfred accidentally knocks over a runestone, summoning a swarm of disgruntled spirits demanding compensation for the disturbance of afterlife. Balara tries negotiating, offering the spirits complimentary espresso, while Harding grabs Manfred, who's proven to be a terrible negotiator himself, squawking out "Bone Rights" slogans. Amused by their antics and sensing their urgency, Emmerich joins them, vowing to support their mission if they promise to help restore restless spirits' peace, and Manfred out of the future trouble. The team departs with Emmerich, who insists on bringing a supply of ceremonial teacups, just in case. That was probably the most sensible chapter we've had in a while. Okay, so we asked AI to write the next chapter about how the team would meet the Inquisitor, and how the Inquisitor would send them to find Morrigan, to give the story some direction. The Inquisitor's insight. The team stumbles into an opulent but isolated fortress rumoured to house the long-retired Inquisitor. To surprise, the Inquisitor greets them with a calm yet amused demeanour, instantly sensing their chaotic energy of Rook's band. The Inquisitors are intrigued by their plight, but ever elusive offers only cryptic advice. Seek the witch in the woods, for she knows the veil like no other. As the Inquisitors sketch a rough map to Morrigan's last known location, Varric asks if the Inquisitor will join them. The Inquisitor smiles mysteriously, saying, "My time in the spotlight is past. Go, friends, your story awaits." With newfound direction and a hint of reverence for the Inquisitor's legacy, the team departs for the dense, enigmatic forest. I can't even speak today. Forest where Morrigan is said to reside, a place filled with whispers and illusions. Manfred, clutching his teacup, ominously adds, "The Witch of the Wild is not one for company." The team presses on, aware that Morrigan's knowledge of the Veil and Mythal may be key to understanding Solus's intentions. Okay, Chapter 7, The Witch's Fury. So in this one we asked AI to say how we'd meet Morrigan and her advice for the team. In a cinematic sweep through the dense, eerie forest, the team dashes between towering, gnarled trees as dark creatures snap and shriek in pursuit. Explosions of flame erupt as Balara and Nev hurl spells to fend them off, while Tash's plasma spear blasts. Oh, I forgot about the plasma spear. Blazes through the shadows, clearing their path. Clearing their path. They're closing on a flickering silhouette in the distance. The team bursts into a clearing, finding Morrigan poised like a dark sorceress, summoning bursts of fade energy that tear through the enemies with terrifying precision. Without missing a beat, she locks eyes with Rook and coolly stays. You seek to understand the Veil and to halt Solus. Only Mythal's knowledge can help you. Only one path will lead you there. Before the team can fully process her words, Morrigan beckons them to follow. Her figure blurring as she strides into the Fade itself, where Mythal's secrets and Solus's past loom. With her guidance, they step into the Fade, and reality shifts into a swirling battlefield of memories, lost gods, and intense dark power, foreshadowing the trials that await. That's pretty cool. Okay, Chapter 8 is called Love, Laughs, and Illusions in the Fade. Stepping into the surreal landscape of the Fade, the team quickly realises it's not only dark and mystical, but full of unexpected romantic enchantments. What? They find themselves in a strange glen where everything, from the misty trees to the ground itself, seems to have opinions about love. Varric's shadow suddenly starts flirting with Balara's, while Nev finds herself being serenaded by a choir of spectral squirrels singing a love ballad. As the group navigates the illusion-filled trials, Rook is inexplicably drawn into a conversation with his own reflection, which attempts to coach him on how to ask Balara to the Ethereal Fade Ball, an event hosted by the delightfully glamorous wisp named Luminara. Meanwhile, Tash ends up in a date battle scenario where she's required to win the heart of a Fade spirit by answering wildly out-of-character questions like, "What's your ideal magical vacation?" Morrigan, observing the chaos from a safe distance, mutters, "This isn't quite what I meant by Trials of the Fade," before reluctantly casting a spell to dispel the romance-heavy illusions. The scene fades back to the solemn battlefield they expected, just as Balara jokingly asks Rook if he's ever considered a date to the Ethereal Fade Ball. Amid laughter and lingering glances, they prepare for the real trials ahead, bonds strengthened by the hilarity. What just happened? Okay, so we asked it to write the next chapter that ends with the team finding the evil elven god. Chapter 9, Into the Shadows of Power. Emerging from the whimsical Fade illusions, the team steps into a darker, twisting labyrinth of shadows. Strange symbols glow faintly along the stone walls, and ghostly wisps fill the air with half-formed warnings. Balara, sensing the ancient magic, urges caution, but curiously drives the team deeper into murky depths. As they press forward, a cold, powerful presence pulls at their minds. Suddenly the shadows coalesce, forming into the shape of a towering elven figure. It's Elganon, the god of vengeance. His eyes blaze with ancient wrath, and the ground trembles as he speaks. His voice echoing the weight of centuries. The team stands frozen in awe, whereas they're face to face with God, whose fury could consume them all. Dun dun dun. Okay, Chapter 10, Partners in Justice. The battle of Elganon begins, but things quickly take an unexpected twist. As the god lunges at Rook, Tash steps in, striking with her plasma spear, only to find that her weapon has transformed into a badge. Elganon, bewildered, now spots a dark trench coat and a vengeance unit pin. What? In a bizarre turn, Rook and Tash are now detectives on a case to clean up Thaddeus. Elganon, a notorious vengeance criminal, pleads his case. He's just a misunderstood deity with a grudge against society. Varric whips out his notebook, now a case file. Balara hands him evidence in the form of enchanted coffee grounds. With slapstick humour and unlikely legal arguments, they ultimately sentence Elganon to 1,000 hours of community service in the Fade, guiding lost spirits to peace. As he disappears, the team exchanges high fives and imaginary badges. They head onward now, official protectors of Thaddeus, with the strangest case in history closed. Let me know if you want me to add more comedic touches, or if you like an image of this quirky setup. No more comedic fucking plot twist. Make an image though. Okay, so I asked the AI to write the next chapter about how the team would go on the hunt for Gillan and bring Lucanus back into the story because he seems to have disappeared. As the team ventures into the mystical wilds, they encounter Lucanus, an enigmatic assassin from the Antivan Crows. Slipping through the shadows, did they not already meet Lucanus? Join him in search of Gillan, the mother of the Hulla. Lucanus, with his mastery over necrotic magic and precision, becomes essential as they enter an ethereal grove where Gillan's influence warps reality. When they reach her lair, Gillan emerges a haunting figure of unnatural beauty with dark tendrils of the blight entwined in her aura. Lucanus' gaze sharpens, and he shares an unexpected history with the mother of the Hulla, revealing that the Crows once served as her covenant agents. Gillan, sensing his familiarity, attempts to sway Lucanus back to her side, offering forbidden power in exchange for loyalty. Lucanus, however, is resolute. As a deadly waltz of shadows and deception unfolds, he uses his crow training and necrotic spells to counter Gillan's illusions. The team battles through the onslaught, with Lucanus leading a coordinated assault, severing her blighted tendrils and revealing her vulnerabilities. In a climactic standoff, Lucanus delivers the final blow, binding her essence and breaking her hold on the grove. Exhausted but victorious, the team acknowledges Lucanus' critical role, realizing that without him, they'd have fallen to Gillan's illusions. With Gillan defeated, the team braces for the final encounter, knowing that each god they face brings them closer to the heart of Solus's plan and the perilous fate of Thedas. Okay, the final gamble. As the team reaches Solus's hidden sanctuary, a strange twist unfolds. Tash's plasma spear, tired from all the god slaying, inexplicably gains sentience and begins critiquing her fighting style. For a spear you're sure mouthy, Tash retorts, but the banter is cut short by Solus's presence. The final battle was intense, with Solus wielding terrifying fade magic. In a heartbreaking twist, Emmerich, summoning every last spirit to shield his friends, falls to Solus's devastating spell, sacrificing himself to protect the team. His skeletal assistant Manfred salutes before crumbling beside him. With a mix of grief and grim determination, the team charges forward, led by Rook and a reformed Tash, as Solus begins his world-altering spell. Amid the chaotic field energy, the team's resolve shines. They're ready to face anything, spears with attitude and all, as they fight for Thedas. Okay, so right at the end of the story, but leave room for character epilogues after. The final showdown. Solus's choice. As the team rallies together, Solus's spell fractures and he falters, confronted by the power of their bond and the sacrifices made along the journey. Tash's talking plasma spear with its last ounce of cheeky charm cracks a line that stirs even Solus to a pause. The team presses forward, forcing Solus to face a choice: continue his destructive plan, or consider the weight of his own actions against their unwavering resistance. Realizing he has lost his followers' faith, and perhaps his own, Solus's anger fades, replaced by a quiet acknowledgement. With a weary sigh, he releases his hold on the veil, allowing the group to return to Thedas scarred but triumphant. The fade dissipates around them, and they reappear in the tranquil grove where their journey began, each carrying memories of the struggle and those lost that will shape the future of Thedas. What an ending. Okay, I asked AI to write epilogues for each character, and it's done every single one based on their different personalities, I guess. So Rook, action comedy. Back in his hometown, Rook's hero of Thedas status gets a strange twist. He opens Rook's Relics and Repairs, where he hilariously fends off overly... where he fends off overly enthusiastic villagers and occasional Blightbot remnants. He ends each day with exaggerated tales of his adventures, only for Balara to call out his inaccuracies with a smirk. Business booms, fueled by his playful storytelling and possible exaggerated merchandise. That sounds like Varric. Balara, romantic fantasy. Balara returns to the Veil Jumpers, but finds herself restless, her mind drifting to Rook. One misty evening, she unexpectedly stumbles upon him at an ancient, I swear that's meant to say elven, site, where he's hopelessly tangled in mystical vines. They share a laugh, realizing their connection wasn't just forged in Fade. Together they began researching ancient artifacts with hints of romance flickering amid mystical ruins and quiet, enchanted nights. Nev's epilogue unfolds like a noir film. As Tavinta private investigator, she works out of a dimly lit office filled with elven relics and half-burnt candles. Her clients are often spirits still seeking justice from the Fade, but at night she broods by her window, pondering the mysteries of the Veil, catching glimpses of her past life's encounters, especially her team's faces lingering in every shadow. Harding, the feel-good adventure. Hardin's life becomes a feel-good montage of rebuilding the Inquisition's scout network. With a mix of humour and grit, she inspires her recruits and even names an outpost after Emmerich. Her boundless enthusiasm brings new life to the Inquisition's legacy as she forges a cheerful, enduring bond among scouts who look up to her as a legend. Tash, the sci-fi thriller. Now an ambassador of Thedas' technological future, Tash returns to Ravane, spearheading a movement to integrate Qunari tech and Fade-based artifacts. Known for her plasma spear, Tash's tale is part adventure, part tech thriller, as she uncovers hidden relics and strange energy sources in Thedas. Her weapon remains mouthy, providing both camaraderie and commentary on it, increasingly experimental exploits. Varric pens the final chapter of the adventure in a grand candlelit library. It's a tale of heroism, romance, and laughs, though he edits his faster-than-light storytelling to add dramatic flair. As he writes the last line, he hears a familiar voice, the spirit of Emmerich, offering notes from beyond. Together they finish the saga, ensuring it will endure long after. That's actually pretty cool. Emmerich's spirit lingers in the Fade, where he takes on a quiet role as a guardian, aiding lost souls to reach peace. The Fade-bound Manfred pops in as comic relief, carrying spectral teacups and gossiping about other spirits. Emmerich's influence becomes legend as he is remembered as the guide of the lost, his ethereal presence providing solace for the countless souls. A Morrigan gothic romance. Okay. Morrigan retreats to a secluded forest lair, her life one of haunting beauty and ancient magic. She roams mist-laden glades by night, occasionally meeting spectral figures who seek her counsel. Now legend in her own right, Morrigan's story becomes a gothic tale, her life unfolding with quiet elegance, whispers of love, and deep, lingering memories of Mythal's legacy. And then the Inquisitor. Though now semi-retired, the Inquisitor becomes a cornerstone of a new alliance across Thedas. The epilogue reads like an epic as they unite desperate factions in an ongoing effort to guard against new threats. They often found strategizing in a grand hall filled with relics, casting the watchful eye over Thedas. Then their journey isn't quite over. Well, that certainly was a story. I wonder how much of this will be just like the game. I wonder if we'll have a plasma spear that talks to us and gives us sass, or if we'll get a caffeinated Varric, or if Weissart is full of alien laser shield and Mass Effect features in a coffee machine. Let me know what you think of this video. This was crazier than I thought. I thought it was going to be pretty bland and generic. If you did enjoy, please drop this a like, counts amazingly. Let me know below what you're looking for about Veilguard. If you want a talking laser spear with Tash now. If you have enjoyed, please subscribe to the channel. I will be doing a full Let's Play of Dragon Age The Veilguard and build guides for the classes when it comes out. And hopefully, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye guys.